call upon our next speaker, Dr. Lopamudra Kakoti from India. Yes, the podium is all yours.
Good evening and good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. You can share your screen
Okay.
as well.
Thank you. Sorry for my technical trouble.
Yes, your screen is visible, Dr. Lopa. You can go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So I'm Dr. Lopamudra from the assistant professor at Dr. B. Barua Cancer Institute, which is a regional cancer center in Northeast India, Assam. And I'm going to present my small pilot study, Significance of Pattern of Invasion in Cancer, a pilot study in tongue cancers. As we all know that invasion and metastasis are the hallmarks of cancer, both being intimately related process. And pattern of invasion refers to the manner in which cancer infiltrates tissue at the tumor host interface. Pattern of invasion, it got clinical significance other than depicting the malignancy, is that they prognosticate the cancer disease process. And for decades it has been debated and discussed about the pattern of invasions because it might give inputs to the clinical decision making and treatment decision making. But lastly or lately, it has been gaining its focus when the term epithelial mesenchymal transition has been put forward by E.D. Hay in 1995. What is epithelial mesenchymal transition? This refers to the mechanism whereby tumor cells detach from the main mass and gain motility. This process involves various molecular and cellular mechanisms, broadly defining reduction or complete loss of intracellular adhesion molecules, ultimately gain of function of motility, enabling structural proteins. So this is a schematic diagram I have taken from article by Mr. Bryan, where he is showing the different molecular mechanisms happening at the infiltrative edge, like increased proliferation, increased cell migration and angiogenesis, whereas decreased cell-cell adhesions or differentiation at the infiltrative edge cells. And there are random immune responses going around to ultimately evade from the immune response by the tumor cells. Based on this complex molecular and morphological studies, two types of tumor cell migrations have been found: collective or group migrations and single or individual cell migrations. Collective or group cell migration is nothing but when group of cells interconnected by adhesion molecules move freely into stroma, whereas single cell migrations, single cell moves in the stroma. Again, these single cell migration are divided into amoeboid and mesenchymal. Migration type depends on the tissue microenvironment and molecular changes in the tumor cells. Single cell migrations in the mesenchymal type cells acquire mesenchymal property of fibroblast-like cells, and they transform themselves into like a spindle cells. Amoeboid type of movement is the most primitive and the efficient migration cell pattern when the other migration patterns has been blocked or inhibited. This movement is seen, this amoeboid movement is seen mainly in the circulating tumor cells, and it is not appreciated in the histomorphology. Collective or group migrations has been recently gaining more importance, as the terminology has been described as tumor budding, where tumor cells acquire different or distinct patterns like tubular, acinar, trabecular, strips, solid, or even in singles. Based on this molecular idea, researchers have been studying the edge of the tumor, and specific patterns have been described in different tumors, particularly in those arising from the prostate, bladder, head and neck, endometrium, or colon. Even there are several scoring system has been also validated in based on these patterns in different organ specific cancers. Most studies have correlated the pattern of invasion with risk of metastasis in regional lymph nodes in the early cancer stages of the cancer. There is it is worthwhile mentioning that there is a strong correlation between infiltrating tumor edge and resistance to therapy. it is said that tumor cells in the infiltrating edge are not dividing, rather they're transforming into mesenchymal cells by acquiring some of the mesenchymal property. This collective type of tumor migrations renders the tumor cells chemo insensitive and radio resistant. The underlying molecular changes lend credence to these observations. Ultimately, the main observation is leading cells at the infiltrating edge express anti-apoptotic genes and also induce synthesis of ABC family protein responsible for efflux of chemotherapeutic drugs out of the cells. So with this molecular idea, we like to see the significance of pattern of invasion in head and neck cancers. As we know that squamous cell carcinoma is the most common cancers in the head and neck regions. And as per the Globocon, it stood the second most common cancers. And India, especially the Northeast India, has beared the most of the bulk of the tumor from the head and neck region. So this is the this most common cancers, though this is the most common cancers, but there has been many factors which is determining the treatment properties, and actually the outcome of the disease is not same for the same stage of the patient. So people have tried to stratify this common cancers into low risk and high risk groups, especially in the early stage. So this attempt has been started or introduced since 1920, when Broders have tried to formulate grading for based on the whole tumor morphology into well, moderate, or poorly differentiated. But because of its poor prognostic value and lack of reproducibility, underscoring the need for more complex grading systems. So with this evolutions, the important milestones comes when M. Bryan has started speaking about the, instead of grading whole tumor morphology, we can concentrate on grading of invasive cell edge because it carries the more prognosis and helps in determining the treatment. Bryant has formulated multifactorial parameter where pattern of invasion is one of them, and he has described 4 patterns. I'll be describing in the later stage. And along with, after a few years, Bransween Jansler, he has introduced one more pattern along with the other 4 patterns which has been described by the Bryant. So overall 4 patterns has been identified. So with the evolution, these are the few articles of old 1992, 1989. So from this evolution till today, when AJCC or CAP or International Collaboration of Cancer Reporting Dataset describes pattern of invasion 3 types: cohesive, non-cohesive, dispersed pattern of invasion. Cohesive is defined as the broad sheets of cancer cells or tumor nest more than 15 cells, whereas non-cohesives are group of cells or fewer than 15 cells, or even in single infiltrating tumor cells. The various multifactorial grading systems as described by Bransween, Bryans, Almangush, or Jacobson, etc., they are based basically on these parameters: nuclear pleomorphism, mitotic index, lymphocytic response, tumor growth pattern, tumor thickness, degree of keratinization, depth of invasion, and pattern of invasion. There was ultimately a general agreement is that most useful prognostic information can be deduced from the invasive front of the tumor, where the deepest and presumably most aggressive cells reside. So based on this basic idea, we plan to study the prognostic significance of pattern of invasion and other pathological parameters in oral tongue squamous cell carcinoma.
Dr. Lopa, can
Yes?
I interrupt you?
Yes,
Can you please go a little bit slower?
okay, ma'am. Okay.
A bit slower, because the participants need to understand every word that you speak.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Should I go back? Should I go back?
Yes, if you can restart, or just at least from the 2nd to 3rd slide, you can go a bit slower.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have been talking about the pattern of invasion. It started with the concept of epithelial mesenchymal. It started gaining the importance when the concept of epithelial mesenchymal transition has been put forward by E.D. Haley in 1995. So epithelial mesenchymal transition refers to the mechanism whereby tumor cells detach from the main mass and gain motility. This process involves various molecular and cellular mechanisms, ultimately to make the cells complete loss of intracellular adhesion molecules and gain of function of motility enabling structural proteins. So this is a schematic diagram taken from M. Bryan, which has depicted the several types of events going at the infiltrating edge: increased proliferation, decreased differentiation, decreased cell-cell adhesion, increased cell migrating molecules, increased proteolysis, and increased angiogenesis. And immune response also play a good role. Ultimately, the tumor cells try to evade from the immune response. Based on this complex molecular and morphological studies, two types of tumor cell has been found: collective or group migration, single or individual cell migration. Collecting or group migration is when the group of cells interconnected by adhesion molecules moves, whereas single cell migrations when individual cell migrate freely through the stroma. Ultimately, migration type depends on tissue microenvironment and molecular changes in tumor cells. So here the picture depicting single cell and migration and collective or group cell migration. Single cells again divided into amoeboid and mesenchymal. So mesenchymal type is a single cell migration, where single cell can acquire either mesenchymal type or amoeboid movement. Mesenchymal type movement migrations where tumor cells acquire the property of mesenchymal cells like fibroblast like cells, so they can transform into a spindle cell like morphology. Whereas amoeboid movement is the most primitive and efficient migration pattern, and this is the last resort for tumor cells to migrate when the other methods of migration have been inhibited or blocked. This movement is seen mainly in the circulating tumor cells, this amoeboid movement, and is not appreciated in histomorphology. Collecting or group migration has been gaining popularity when a term tumor budding has been assigned to describe this collecting migration pattern. Tumor cells in this collective migration pattern acquire different shapes like tubular, acinar, trabecular, strips, solid or in single. Based on this molecular idea, researchers have been studying the infiltrative edge of tumor, and the specific patterns has been described in many tumors like prostate, bladder, head and neck, endometrium or colon. Several scoring systems also have been validated on these patterns in different organ specific cancers, as we know that is in Gleason pattern in prostate. Most studies have correlated the pattern of invasion with risk of metastasis in regional lymph nodes in many of the cancers. And there is a strong relationship found between the infiltrating tumor edge and resistance to therapy also. It is said that, hypothesized that tumor cells in the infiltrating edge are not dividing, rather they're transforming into mesenchymal cells by acquiring mesenchymal property. This collective type of tumor migration renders the tumor cells chemoinsensitive and radioresistant. The underlying molecular changes lend credence to these observations. The leading cells at the infiltrative edge express anti-apoptotic genes and also induce synthesis of ABC family protein responsible for efflux of chemotherapeutic drugs out of the cells. So with this basic idea of how the cell migrate, we want to see the invasion significance of pattern of invasion in head and neck cancers. Head and neck cancer, squamous cell is the most common ones. As the Globocon says, it is the second most common cancers worldwide. And India, especially the Northeast India, bears the most bulk of the cancer is from head and neck areas, head and neck squamous cell carcinoma. And it is seen that in head and neck cancers, it is the most common this thing, there is not much evolution of prognostic factors in the head and neck cancers, and there is a study in the Korean papers where it is said that in the same stage, especially the early stage, cancers, a few subset of patients show a good prognosis, whereas some set of patients come with a recurrence in very early stages where no adjuvant therapy is required. So in that case, when they have gone and seen, again reviewed the slides, they understood that pattern of those recurrent cases, pattern of invasion was worst pattern. And that pattern of invasions, those who has come in the recurrence, they have showed those worst patterns. Actually, they are supposed to be added on the adjuvant treatment instead of only surgery. So there has been many attempts since decade to prognosticate the disease. It started since 1920 when Broders tried to prognosticate the squamous cell carcinoma based on the grading of differentiation into well, moderate, or poorly differentiation based on the whole tumor morphology. But because of the poor reproducibility and poor prognostic value, it was not accepted, or it did not gain much popularity, and there was slow evaluation of in this area. But at the one more important milestone is during 1989 or 91, when Brian M. et al. Has found that instead of grading whole morphology of the tumor, if you grade at invasive cell edge cells, it will carry a more prognostic significance and it will help in the treatment decision making. Brian's have formulated multifactorial scoring system, and those scoring systems I'll be showing in the next slides, where he has included pattern of invasion is one of the factor for deciding the prognosis of the patient. So he has described 4 patterns. In the long run, after a few years, Branswin-Gansler, he has introduced one more type added on the Brian's 4 patterns. So overall, totally 4 patterns has been described in the past. So Brian's have described, these are the 4 formula: degree of keratinization, nuclear polymorphism, number of mitosis, pattern of invasion, lymphoplasmacytic infiltrate. Pattern of invasion, he has given pushing, well differentiated infiltrating tumor, and infiltrating solid. Type 2 is infiltrating solid cords, bands, or strands. Type 3 is small groups or cords of infiltrating cells more than 15. And type 4 is marked or widespread cellular dissociation in small groups or in single cell less than 15 cells. So since 1920, there is a slow evaluation in the pattern of invasion, and ultimately now AJCC, CAP, or even the International Cancer Collaboration reporting data set describe 3 patterns of invasion. They are cohesive, non-cohesive, and dispersed. Cohesive is defined broad sheets of tumor cells or tumor nest more than 15 cells across, whereas non-cohesive is tumor cells fewer than 15 cells or single infiltrating tumor cells. Dispersed is when individual cells more than 1 millimeter from the main tumor. The various multifactorial, which I have already described, Brian's have introduced, like similar to Brian's, Branswin-Gansler, Elmans, Anort, Jacobson, etc. et al. Also describe several multifactorial grading systems. The based on these parameters: nuclear pleomorphism, mitotic index, lymphocytic response, tumor growth pattern, tumor thickness, degree of keratinization, depth of invasion, and pattern of invasion. There was general agreement that the most useful prognostic information can be deduced from the invasive front of the tumor, where the deepest and presumably more aggressive cells reside. Based on this basic idea or background, we wanted to do a pilot study to see the prognostic significance of pattern of invasion and other pathological parameters, especially depth of invasion, perineural invasion, lymph node status in oral tongue squamous cell carcinoma. So our study was a retrospective one, and we have archived paraffin embedded blocks from 80 patients with oral tongue squamous cell carcinoma, search between January 2015 to December 2017. We included all primary tongue cancer cases, and we excluded any patients receiving preoperative chemo or radiotherapy, residual and recurrent cases. All sections were taken from surgical resected specimen, not the true cut ones. All the blocks, all slides were taken, and hematoxylin and eosin stain were used to study the morphology of the tumor by two qualified pathologists using the same microscope without any prior knowledge of each patient's clinical details. A set of criteria has been formulated as follows. All the sections of the tumor were evaluated microscopically by two pathologists. Maximum depth of infiltration was calculated microscopically under 40x and would be taken for consideration. The pattern of invasion was taken for consideration in the section of maximum depth of thickness at its infiltrating edge, following the criteria set by Branswin-Gansler et al. Under high power. Extratumoral angiolymphatic invasion, as mentioned in the CAP guidelines, was not taken into consideration as WPO of 5 in this study. When the opinions of the two evaluators differed, selecting the sections of maximum depth of invasion, consensus was reached by discussion. Tumor differentiation grading was done using Brodler's grading, like well differentiated, moderately, and poorly differentiated. Variables like depth of invasion, lymph node infiltration, and perineural invasion and pattern of invasion were evaluated. Depth of invasion was measured from the base of the normal epithelium to the deepest point of invasive tumor edge. Tumor pattern of invasion, we followed Branswin-Gansler's. I have already showed. Brines has described this 4 pattern: pushing, finger-like, large separate islands, more than 15 cell island. Type 4 is small tumor island, 15 cells or fewer per island. Type 5 is tumor satellite, when more than 1 millimeter from the main tumor or next closest satellite. There are a few pictures from our patients. This is the pattern 2. Pattern type 2 pattern, a finger-like pushing pattern. This is the type 3, islands of tumor at the periphery, larger than 15 cell island. These are the pattern 4, where we could see tumor strands or small clusters or single or islands composed of 15 cells or less. Pattern 5 is when tumor satellite is present more than 1 millimeter, more than equal to 1 millimeter apart from the main mass. Statistical analysis was done. Frequency tables of demographic and clinical pathological parameters were established. Kaplan-Meier plot was constructed to show the survival outcomes and compared using long rank test. P-value less than 0.5 was considered to be statistically significant. From our result, our mean age group was 40, and we have seen more than 80% of the patients were above 40 years. We saw male preponderance over female with a ratio of 2.5:1. Mean follow-up period was 35 months, ranging from 1 to 60 months. Out of the 80 patients, 18 patients died of oral tongue cancers because of the recurrence, whereas 40 were alive at the end of the follow-up period, while remaining 22 patients were lost to follow-up. While assessing the grading, we have found maximum 85% of the cases of our cases were well differentiated, 12% were almost moderately, and 2.5% were poorly differentiated. We have divided the tumor depth of infiltration into 3 groups: less than equal to 5, more than 5 to 10 millimeter, and more than 10 millimeter. And we found maximum of our cases fall into this 5 to 10 millimeter group. Amongst the different patterns we have seen, most commonly is pattern 3, that is almost around 50%, followed by pattern 2 in 32%, pattern 4 13%, and the least pattern was pattern 5. Pattern 1 was not seen in our study. Most patients were in stage 2, followed by stage 3 and 4. Least common was stage 1. Perineural invasion and lymph node metastasis were seen in 38.7%, where recurrence occurred in 22.5% of the patients. The overall survival of the patients in our patients of oral tongue squamous cell carcinoma at the end of 1 year, 3 and 5 year was 90%, 92.9%, 58.5 to 50.5% respectively. Depth of infiltration, perineural invasion, nodal metastasis, and pattern of invasion correlate well with the overall survival in patients with oral tongue squamous cell carcinoma. However, no statistical significance was seen. When compared pattern of invasion with other parameters, there is an inverse relation between a pattern of invasion with tumor stage and recurrence. However, it did not show strong statistical association. When we compared pattern of invasion with other parameters, like we found a strong statistical significant association between pattern of invasion with perineural infiltration and lymph node metastasis. So we tried to assess the effectiveness of pattern of invasion and other clinical pathological parameter predicting mortality and prognostic significance. When we have seen that our patients' overall survival started decreasing from the first year to fifth year, almost five years. So the similar finding was a similar reduction in 5-year survival has been reported by Spiro et al. In their study. We did not find any statistically significant relationship amongst the depth of infiltration, pattern of invasion, lymph node metastasis, and perineural invasion with the patient survival. But in the literature, studies have shown there is a good significant prognostic value of depth of infiltration and pattern of invasion. We did not get it statistically significant, maybe because our study has a small sample size, and in literature, most of the studies have included the early stage T1 and T2, but we have included almost all the stages T1 to T4. Most of the cases in the present study were well differentiated, and no association of differentiation with the was found. Similar findings were observed by Nadef et al., and they concluded that 5 patterns of invasion could serve as an individual prognostic marker irrespective of histologic differentiation of the invasion have been reported for squamous cell carcinoma of different sites like skin, head and neck, and uterine cervical SCC. However, whatever the pattern, the high-grade dissociated tumor cells at the invasive front has been reported to be a prognostic value for different types of cancers. Several studies have previously confirmed that the relationship of unfavorable pattern of invasion with poor prognosis in oral squamous cell carcinoma. Brian's have already, I've already mentioned, Brian have found that instead of grading the whole tumor, invasive front tumor grading is more important. In study by Hirima et al. Showed that pattern of invasion is an independent factor in low stage of oral squamous cell. Nadaf also have found 5 pattern of invasion could serve as an individual prognostic marker in the histologic differentiation of the tumor. Almangas et al. Has also found tumor budding or depth of invasion and worst pattern of invasion were evaluated, and significant correlation prognostic implications in early stages of tongue cancers. In our study, it was observed that recurrence was, recurrence was most common in pattern 3, followed by pattern 4, and there were no recurrences in pattern 2. We have very less cases of pattern 5, and most of the pattern 5 cases were lost to follow-up. There was inverse relationship between POI, pattern of invasion with tumor stage, and recurrence, but no statistical association was found, probably because of the smaller size and many of the patients of highest pattern of invasion being lost to follow-up. Similarly, similar to our study, Monteiro LS et al. Reported that pattern of spread in oral cancer show little or no relation to clinical stages presentation. Another study by Odell et al. Also showed that prognostic significance of invasive front grading and close correlation between pattern of invasion and metastasis, as well as recurrence of the disease, supporting our study also. We have found that lymph node metastasis and Perineural infiltration has strong correlation with worse pattern of invasion, and it was statistically significant. PNI was most commonly seen in 66.7% cases of pattern 5, followed by
Dr.
60.
Lopa, Dr.
Yes.
Lopa, if I may excuse you, you need to finish your presentation. This is the time for you to be finishing it. This
Okay.
is the time we can allot for your presentation.
Okay.
And if you can add a few more lines to be winded up quickly,
Yeah, it is the last slide. This is
I
the
can
last
give
slide.
you 1 more minute for this.
Okay. Several studies also support the association between pattern of invasion and lymph node metastasis. However, we have not found any studies showing association of PNI with pattern of invasion. Hence, we feel the need for further studies to substantiate this strong association. Ultimately, to conclude, we observed that most aggressive cells of the tumor reside at the invasive front of the tumor and show poor prognosis. And present study concluded that pattern of invasion 4 and 5 is significantly associated with number of lymph node mets and perineural infiltration. Hence, it can be used as an independent histopathologic prognostic parameter in oral squamous cell tongue cancers. Finally, further tumor-specific studies are needed to offer more future insights into the nuances of the pattern of invasion in solid tumors and the clinical implications. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr.